Hi guys, it's Leah. Today I'm going to be giving an update on how using non-paper towels and non-paper napkins in the kitchen have gone for the last year. So about 2 years ago, I actually made some non-paper towels or reusable napkins, and they kind of sat there and we used them here and there in the kitchen area. So about this time last year, I was pregnant again, and we were looking for ways to save money because I possibly was maybe not going to go back to work full time. So we were just looking for ways to cut back in our finances on a monthly basis. And I did bring it up to Andrew about kind of not buying so many paper products specifically for the kitchen. And I said, why don't we try using these cloth wipes and cloth napkins for the kitchen area and go buying some other things to replace buying actual paper products. And he was on board. I don't think he loves that. He did not love the idea as much as I kind of get like really motivated by those kinds of things, but he was on board, which was really key that we both were on board, because if we both weren't and he didn't want to use them, it just wasn't going to work. So he was, and we decided we would just finish up the last of the paper products we had, and then we would full-time use the cloth napkins. So I initially had made a good couple dozen of these flannel napkins, if you want to call them. They are roughly about 12 by 8, I think. So a little smaller than a normal paper towel. But I tend to fold them like this, and then like that, and then I put them in a napkin holder. And that worked out really well. At first, I was folding them lengthwise in half and just leaving them on my counter kind of stacked up. But I liked getting them a little bit smaller, folding them in thirds instead, and putting them in a napkin holder, and that seemed to work a little bit better. So technically we've been using these for about 2 years, but full-time for a year, and they've held up pretty well. I have two different kinds. These were just a plain gray flannel, and these were like a light gray polka dot. And the light gray polka dot, if you can kind of see, have a lot more stains on them because they are a lighter fabric. And honestly, I was pretty liberal about what I used these for. We used them for anything. I pretty much told Andrew and myself, I said, listen, if it's gonna get dirty, it's gonna get dirty. That's what they're for. Napkins get dirty. It's okay. They're made out of flannel. Because I knew that if we weren't going to have paper products, we were going to need to use these for all sorts of messes. And I just said, don't worry, if they get stained, they get stained. That's kind of the point. That's what paper products are used for. So that's what these are taking the place of. So some of them are stained, and that's okay. I will say they're starting to wear quite a bit though. I mean, they look okay, but they're thinner, and the lighter ones have quite a bit of stains on them. So I think going forward, if we're going to continue this for the coming year, I think I'm going to make some new ones and maybe use these more as rags for cleaning, just because when we have people over, I feel a little funny giving them these now that they're all stained. Like, it's not a huge deal, they're all clean, but I do think I probably will make some more. So I would say that a good couple dozen, even maybe 3 dozen, is a good place to start with your just napkins. I think any less than that, and you're going to start running out pretty quickly, because if you think about how often you pull for paper products, it's all the time. And you're not just using it for napkins, you're using it for spills and cleanups and stuff like that, and wiping down the counter. So if you're just talking about like just napkins that like you would sit down at dinner with, I would say you're going to want at least a good couple dozen. In addition to those ones that I made, I also went to Walmart and picked up a few packs of just their like terry cloth wipes. They're just like ones that you would see in like the kitchen aisle. I think they probably have similar ones in the bath aisle. And It is, I think it's the Mainstay brand. I'm not quite sure, but it's the Walmart brand. It's like the basic Walmart brand. And they come in like packs of 6 or 9, which is kind of a weird amount, but you can get a lot for really cheap. So I bought a couple packs of those, and those are also in one of my drawers, and I just use those for the same kind of thing. I use them to clean up around the table, wipe the kids' faces off, clean off the kitchen. At that same time, I went and bought a bunch of packs of flour sack towels from Walmart for, you know, just to hang in the kitchen as like a dish rag, but same kind of thing, you know, for bigger spills I could use that. And I think having these that I made for napkins, and then having the terry cloth for like cleaning up the kitchen, cleaning off the stove, and then in addition having the flour sack towels to like wipe off your hands if they're wet, but also wipe something off the floor if you need to, or wipe off the table if you need to. I think having 3 kind of different cloth products was helpful, because you weren't running out too quickly. I also liked going and buying new ones specifically that I wasn't worried about getting stained, because, you know, normally people have dish towels, but they're kind of pretty, and you don't really want to be like cleaning up sauce with it, or, you know, you don't really want to you don't want to get it stained because it's pretty. And with these, they're all white, so it wasn't a big deal if they were getting stained, because I could just throw them all in one load and put some bleach in there, and then after they would come out completely white and clean again, and it was like new. So unlike these, because I made them in gray, I can bleach them, but they're not going to really look that great because they're going to look all blotchy. I think if I was going to make more, I would just make them plain white, so that when they got really ratty and stained, I could just bleach them again. So the way that we use these, and the best method that works for us, is I have a large wet bag that I just wrap around the handle of our fridge, and it's just open all the time, and once one of our cloth wipes are soiled, we throw it in there. When the bag gets full, we just dump it in with our normal laundry and we clean them. Having something in the kitchen specifically like for putting the dirty ones made it much more seamless, so that I knew where they all were at one time. I knew when they needed to be cleaned, when we were probably getting low, and it was just easier than having to like go into the laundry room every time one was dirty and putting it in the laundry room. It was much easier just to, you know, throw it in the wet bag, kind of like we do with cloth diapers. You know, when we are done with the cloth diaper, it's easier than walking all the way in another room. You just have wet bags, you know, in different areas of the house in case you are in that room. I think the biggest challenge with moving over to cloth products in the kitchen was just getting out of the mindset that you couldn't dirty them. You're used to picking up really gross things, you know, with your with a paper towel, and just kind of getting out of that mindset that it's okay if this piece of cloth gets stained. It's okay, and that's the point. I know I had to say that like numerous times to Andrew throughout the year. Like, he'd start picking something up and he was like, can I clean this up with that, or can I not? And I'd be like, that's what it's for. It's to clean messes, and it's gonna get stained, and I can bleach it. It's not a big deal. One of the other like challenges for us was just explaining it to guests who come over and ask for a napkin. Not that like it's difficult to explain it. Oh, my bad. But it is kind of, it's different. People don't expect you to not use paper products. So just explaining to people like why, and that, you know, we don't have to buy paper towels, and that was a little bit interesting. Everybody has like their own idea about it. I think my favorite was when I was telling it to a family member, and their response was, well, you probably really don't save money, because for the water, the extra water to do the extra laundry, you're probably breaking even. And I was just like, do you know how cheap water is here in New York? but also, like, I'm not doing extra laundry. I'm putting it in with the laundry that we already have. It's such small amounts of laundry that it's no more laundry. Anyway, you know, it's like people are like, I find that sometimes people are looking to tear you down for something that is good, but different. And I don't always understand why, but you are going to get a little bit of pushback when you do things that are out of the norm. Instead, I just feel like people can just be like, well, that's cool. You know, instead you get this kind of like, oh, that's interesting. When it's just like, I get that it's different, but we're doing it for good reasons, and there's no reason it should be a bad thing. But you get kind of some funny responses when you're doing something out of the ordinary. I think it really wasn't that hard to not use paper products in the kitchen. It just became part of our everyday. There were moments that, like, you really just wanted a paper towel and we didn't have it. So here we did usually keep at least one roll of paper towel in our laundry room, just for like really gross things that like sometimes you just don't want to clean and then like clean the thing you just cleaned with, you know? Sometimes you just don't want to do that, like dog puke. I don't necessarily want to pick up dog puke and then clean the dog puke out of the thing I just cleaned with. So there's certain things that like we just had like a small roll of, we always keep a small roll of paper towel in our laundry room just for those reasons. That has kind of been our workaround for those moments where we're just not that into it, you know. In the last few months, I'd say we have used our non-paper towels or napkins or whatever a lot less, just probably starting in the holiday season, because we just had a lot of people over and it really was just imperative to have enough napkins for everybody, and we just bought some napkins, and so we've had those and we've been using those. But I think once I kind of like revamp this and I make new ones and they're like nice and clean, we'll probably start doing it again. But I also think that we will keep some paper towel like we have been in our laundry room just for those moments that we want them, because that's just how I do things. I think it's a great alternative to paper products. I would totally recommend it if you're looking to kind of expand your cloth experience to other areas of your home. It's totally doable, and honestly, it's really cheap. You can just buy some flannel at the craft store. Even a lot of Walmart stores have a fabric section. Mine does, and you can get it pretty cheap there. A couple yards will get you a good couple dozen of these. So if you have the sewing skills to do it, you can do it yourself. You can also go on Etsy, and I know people sell them on Etsy, and they're actually not that expensive just to buy if you're like not into making them yourselves. I feel like it was a good challenge for us just to realize that there's ways to save money in your home if you're willing to try it out. One of the other things I had made were some little snack bags out of some scrap peel I had, and I haven't utilized those as much as I would have liked in the last year, but I do kind of want to get into using those again, because we go through so many snack bags, like the little plastic snack bags. I mean, I bring my lunch to work every day, and well, 3 times a week, the days that I go to work, and what Andrew packs his lunch every day. So we go through those a lot, and then on the days that I do work, I pack lunch for Wesley and the babies. So you know, that's a lot of money too, going into the little snack bags. So I would really like to kind of like maybe make some more of those and find a way to utilize those in the next year. So maybe that will like be my next challenge, to really start using reusable snack bags. All right, you guys, so that is my update for our non-paper towels, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.